It's a Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM, and for the last time this summer season, we're checking in with Bruce Phillips, our Speedway and Sprint Cars expert. Bruce, great to have you back with us. How are you?
G'day there, Ellis. Yeah, good to be back for the last chat for the Speedway season. Big thanks to Flow FM. It really is great. Speedway doesn't get enough coverage out there. We've got the social media pages, but you don't really see a lot of Speedway on Channel 7 or, the big broadcasters. So it is great that we can get a bit of Speedway, exposure through Flow FM and the big coverage that the Flow's got. But
without further ado, Bruce, let's have a look at the action from last weekend, starting in Warrnambool.
They had a big meeting last weekend, round 12 of the SRA Sprint Car Series, and it was the grand final of this event. As you said, getting towards the very back end of the season. And it was Jock Goodyear in the T22 getting the job done from Jamie Veal in the V35 and Tate Frost in the T62. Now, you might have already realised two Tasmanians in the top three in that event. So, see, how well is Tasmanian sprint car racing going at the moment with Goodyear and Frost in very good form. The Strath Steamer, Daniel Pesca in fourth place in the F27. Good to see him up there. He gets a lot of top five podiums or top five finishes. Caden Brown in the V3 in fifth place. So it was a big meeting there last weekend. Moving on to other racing last weekend and the results, it was the Perth Motorplex over there at the Kwinana Raceway there. And it was the Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series round 15, and they'll be coming to a close too with their Easter meeting next weekend, I would have thought. Callum Williamson in the W3 getting another victory this season, about his fourth, and he got the job done from the very popular, likeable Chris Coyle in the W79, one of our good friends at Local Sprint Car Photography and Media, and Daniel Harding in third place in the W18 from Caden Banders, and Dane Kingshot in the W2. He's had a good season in that W2 car there, has Kingshot. That rounds out a bit of a look at Perth last weekend. Hobart Raceway last weekend at Hobart, Tasmania. 410 sprint cars down there. And I think it might be their second or last meeting. I think they've got an Easter show next weekend. And it was Jamie Bricknell in the T55. And we've seen Jamie come across to the Classic and do quite well at Premier Speedway. And he did a good job last weekend, getting the victory from Ethan Wiley, who's had a couple of podium finishes this year first, and Chad Gardner in third place. Tony Klasner and Adam Alexander making up the top five. Nick Penno unfortunately didn't finish. He's had a great season. Finally, we looked to Murray Bridge Speedway last week, the MMS Speedway there, racing by the river, and it was the Super Sedan Cowland 42, so 42 laps, and it was the SA title, and it was a big meeting there, not a bad little crowd, and the feature finish in this one was Callum Harper out of Tasmania going back-to-back. So great effort there by Callum Harper in the T22, and he can now stick the S1 on there, the South Australian number one, but he didn't have it all his own way because he got some real good competition from another gun driver at this level and this class in Matty Pascoe. And Matty Pascoe, who's the NT1, he come in second place from Brad Pascoe, and he's the Queensland one, Brad. So not a bad effort there by the Pascoes. And, of course, Brad is the Tasmanian one as well. So the cream rise to the top, and no doubt about that, Harper, Matty Pascoe, Brad Pascoe in the top three of the best going around in Australian Super Sedan. Tyson Moon was in fourth and Mick Nicola was in fifth place. So that's a look at MMS Speedway last weekend. It was a great meeting there, and they are a big machine, the Super Sedans, and they did some great racing.
All right, Bruce, well, for the final time, what is happening this weekend and in the near future on the circuits of Australia's Speedway competition?
This weekend sees the big Sydney International Speedway, the brand new Speedway up there in New South Wales in Sydney, getting underway with the sprint cars returning. There's 28 nominations, not a bad field, majority New South Wales, a couple of Queenslanders in there in Kinser Claridge, and of course Dylan Menz, but for the remainder of the field, pretty much New South Wales. Jai Corbett in the NQ10 out of North Queensland, but a big field, not some bad names in amongst it, with the likes of Alex Addard and Jock Goodyear racing the Stella Motorsports car, the N56. So great to see Goodyear getting a drive up there with that, and of course some other good racers like Jordan Brazier, Lachlan Cornt, real emerging driver, and Ryan Newton, who had a good classic series. He's racing up there too. And Zach Pacharoa in the N42, getting a second place a couple of weeks ago. So he's in there as well. So good field there for the Sydney International Speedway. Should draw a big crowd. And good luck to all racing up there this weekend. Finally, we finished. So that's all that's happening this weekend. So a lot with a week off to go into next week, Easter racing, and a lot happening across Australia. And the main one we think of around this area is the big 3 nights of racing, the triple header, Friday night, Easter Friday, with Avalon Raceway. Then they head across to Mount Gambier on Saturday night, and then head back to Warrnambool at Premier Speedway for the grand finale of Easter, the Easter Trail, as they call it, next weekend, and the third night at Warrnambool. And that should be a bumper crowd there. Should pack to the rafters for the third night of racing. Should be a great Easter Trail, and of course the Perth Motorplex, and of course Queensland also getting racing up there for Easter with the High-Tech Oil Sprint Car Series racing up there as well next weekend in Toowoomba. So lots happening around Easter next weekend. Unfortunately, we won't be doing a wrap of that, so this pretty much wraps up the season. It has been a huge season, and look, we'll be back sometime with a bit of a report late August with the big opening to the season of Speedway during the footy of of course, the Northern Territory Chariots of Thunder. So looking forward to that. But look, again, thanks to Flow FM. It's been great to cover this, and we look forward to the podcast coming out on our page, local sprint car photography. And a big thanks to you too, Ella. Getting up your time every week.
Bruce, cannot thank you enough for all your contributions. It's been great having you here doing this segment each week. And as you say, much needed given the lack of coverage in the mainstream when it comes to this summer code. So great work on your behalf, and also your son Lockie doing the work you do covering this sport, which we love playing here in the summer on Flow FM. Bruce, that'll be that. And, we'll certainly be hearing from you soon with regards to everything winter sports. I know you'll be appearing regularly on the Winter Sports Show, so we look forward to that. In the meantime, all the best. Enjoy the action. We'll speak to you soon.
Will do, mate. We look forward to getting down to Warrnambool next weekend for the big 3 nights of Easter Trail. Should be a good one. And, the age-old saying, get your backside, trackside, and support Speedway. It really does need it at the moment. And we look forward to being back next year.